tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away.
Hi guys, welcome back again to the channel. Happy New Year once again. In today's tutorial, we are going to learn how to cut and sew a straight skirt with front slit, or a pencil skirt, long pencil skirt with front slit. So if you are interested, please continue watching and watch to the end so you won't miss out of any important information. So guys, please remember to give this video a thumbs up so that others can see it as well and watch. Without wasting much time, let's get started. So we are going to be making use of this African print material. It says here, but we are not going to make use of all of them. We are going to need like 2 yards or 2.5 yards for this skirt. And then the measurement we need for the skirt is my waist measurement 36, hip measurement 43, and then length of the skirt is 40. So I'm going to remove 1 inch from the hip measurement. 43 minus 1 will give us 42. So we are going to make use of this 42 to do our cutting. And this 1 inch here will be for the butt space at the back side. Alright, so this 1 inch will be at the back. This is for the skirt to give us a very nice fitting or a very nice shape. Alright, but it's optional though. This 1 inch, doing it like this is optional. If you are not interested, please go ahead and use your real hip measurement to do all the cutting. If you are not interested in adding any butt space at the back. But I will encourage you to follow this process if you want to achieve a very good fitted skirt. And if you do it like this, believe me, your customers will always come back. So having said that, I'm going to place my material on fold. So I place my material on fold using the hip measurement, which is the biggest part of my measurement. So what I have here is my hip measurement divided by 4 plus extra 5 inches allowance. So guys, after placing my material on fold, the next step is to remove our allowance, the slit allowance. We are going to cut the front side. After cutting the front side, I will now use it to trace the back side. So what it simply means is that because of the slit at the front side, we need 2 inches allowance extra at this side. And because of the zipper at the back side, we also need extra 2 inches allowance at this side. So I'm going to start by removing 2 inches allowance, which will cover for the front slit and the zipper at the back side, because we are going to use this to cut the back side. I hope you understand. So this 2 inches is not fixed. If you want, you can make use of 1 inch for allowance, for the slit allowance. Or if you want, you can make use of 1.5 inches. Any one you choose to do is fine. So we are going to start our measurements now from this line. So the next step is to measure the length of the skirt. The skirt length is 40 inches. So I'm going to measure for 40 inches now. But because of the design here, I'm going to measure from the downside instead of from here, so that we'll have the pieces, the allowance to cut out from this side. So because the skirt is going to have a band, the height of my band is going to be 1.5 inches. So I will remove 1.5 inches before I will measure the length of the skirt. Whatever is going to be the height of your band, please remove it before you take the length of your skirt. Very important. So I'll remove 1.5 and take the length of the skirt. The length of the skirt is 40 inches. So here is 40 inches. I'll be adding extra 2 inches allowance, so that we'll get 42 inches. So this is the length of my skirt here. So if your material does not have any design downside, then please start your measurements here, so that whatever will remain will be at the down part. Then you cut it out. So we are going to cut out this part now. Instead of removing this at the down part, we'll remove it at the upper part because of the design there. I hope it's clear. So the next step is to add my vertical measurements. Haven't gotten the length of the skirt. So this line will automatically be my waistline, this line here. Then from the waistline, remember we are removing the band, 1.5 inches for band, before taking our marking. So from my waist to the hip, for me is 8 inches. You can do 8.5 or even 9 inches, depending on the height of the person. So from the waist to my knee length, which is 18 inches, and that is 2 inches above the knee. Okay, so I'm going to mark from my waist to my knee 18 inches. So this is where we are going to start the slit from. So it's not supposed to be at the exact knee measurement, so that it will be easy for us to walk. So now we have the vertical measurement, which is my waistline, hip line, and then the knee line. Having gotten that, the next step is to add our horizontal measurement, which is our body circumference measurement, the round waist, round hip, and others. So I'll come to the waistline and I'll measure my waist circumference. My waist circumference is 36. Divide by 4 will give us 9 inches. 9 inches plus 1 inch dart and 2 inches sewing allowance. So I'll be adding 3 inches here. The hip measurement I'm working with is 42, because we remove this 1 inch from the hip for the butt space at the back side. So remember, I'm using 42. Later I will place this 1 inch at the back side to create my butt space. So 42 divided by 4 will give me 10.5, and I'll mark 2 inches for sewing allowance. The dart will not get to the hip, so there's no need for extra dart allowance at the hip side. So that's why I'm adding 2 inches here. Well, last we added 3 inches here. So coming to the half length, which is the knee length, I'm going to measure whatever I have here, including the allowance. Then I'm going to remove 1.5 inches from the entire measurement and place it here. So what I have here is 12.5. 12.5 minus 1.5 will give us 11 inches. So I'll come to the knee length and measure 11 inches and mark. The reason why we need to remove 1.5 is so that the skirt will have a very nice shape. Of course, we are making a pencil skirt. I hope you understand. So I'm going to take the 11 inches I have here down to the hemline. So I'm going to connect the points. So I'm connecting with my free hand, but if you have a hip curve ruler, you can use it, but you can just do it with your free hand. So I've connected this point. From here now to this place is supposed to be a straight line. So I'll connect with a straight line. So I'm not going to add my dart yet. We are going to create our dart after I cut my lining and join it, because you know the skirt we are making is supposed to have a front slit. So I'm not going to create my dart now. Later I will do that. I'll show you how to do that. So keep on watching, and please give this video a thumbs up so that others can see it as well and watch. Thank you so much. So I'm going to cut it out now, and then we'll use it to cut the back side. This is the back side, and I've placed the front part on it for us to cut the back part. The only thing I'll be doing here is to add this 1 inch that will remove for the butt space. Alright, so 1 divided by 2 will give us half. So I'll come to the hip line here for the back side. You know, this allowance here covers for the zipper allowance that is supposed to be at the back side. The only thing we need to add is the butt space. I hope you understand. So I'll come to the hip line here and measure ½ inch. That's the only thing we are doing here. So the only place we have the space is at the hip line. So having done that, I'm going to follow the shape of this front side to cut it out. So I'm going to notch this side. So this notch will serve as a guide for us to know the zipper side. So guys, I've cut the lining. This is the back side. I equally notch here to serve as a guide. So as you can see, the lining and the skirt is equal, but we're not going to leave it equal because we added 2 inches for hemming allowance. So for that reason, I'm going to remove 3.5 inches at this down part. So I'll come here and measure 3.5. So I'm going to cut out these 3.5 inches. So now the lining is shorter by 3.5 inches. So this is the front. I'll do the same thing. So to sew the skirt, I'm going to first of all drag the lining to be equal. Then I'll stitch with ½ inch for the down part. After stitching it, I will now pull the lining upwards. You know, pull it upwards and make it equal here. Then after that, I'm going to close up this side and then close up this side. So this is what I'll do for the two of them. So that this one is for the back. For the front side, we are going to still do the same thing. Remember, you are placing your lining on the right side. So guys, this is the back side. After sewing the lining, so this is how it will look like. As you can see, the lining, we have succeeded in using the lining to drag in the hemming allowance at this part. So we are going to turn to the right side now. doing it, the next step is to remove the zipper allowance and create the dart, the back dart. So remember this notch here, this notch that we have here is our guide. After sewing the zipper side, we are left with 1.5 inches allowance because we added 2 inches before. So I'm going to measure 1.5 and mark. So I'm going to measure from this line to create our back dart. I'm using the bust span for the dart. My bust span is 7. 7 divided by 2 will give us 3.5 plus half inch allowance, making it 4. So I will measure 4 inches here. And then the length of the dart at the back side is going to be 6 inches. So I'll take it half inch on both sides to create the dart. So this is the back dart. I'll give it a notch at that point. So guys, I'll now go over to the machine to sew the zipper allowance down. Then after which I'll pick my dart and I'll be back. So guys, we are through with the back side. I have a video on how to cut and sew a pencil skirt with back pleat or back vent. If you have not watched the video, I'll leave the link in the description box. Please go ahead and click the link to watch. Thank you so much. So we are through with the back side. I'm going to set it aside while we continue with the front side. So guys, this is the front part, no slits yet. I've fixed the lining and this is what we have at the down parts. So the next thing for us to do now is to create our dart and then create the slits at the front side. So I'm going to fold the material into 2 like this. If your slit is going to be at the center, then all you need to do is to open it at the center here. But for me, the slit is going to be at the side, not the center. So it's now left for us to determine which particular side we are going to put the slit. You can actually put it at the left or at the right. And take note, the slit will be at the dart point. It will be at the dart point. So you can either put it at the left dart or the right dart. It's left for you now to choose where to put your slit, whether at the right dart or at the left dart. The option is entirely yours. Okay? So, but for me, I'm going to be putting my slit on the left side of the dart. Left side. That is where we normally put the slit. That does not mean you cannot put it at the right side. So, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to be putting my slit at the left side. After choosing the position of the slit, which is the left side, now we are going to add the slit now. So take note, for you to know the left side, this is we place the lining on the right side before we stitch the 2 sides and the down part. I hope you remember. So I will simply place my material like this to determine the left and the right. The left and the right. So as you can see, this side represents the left side, while this side represents the right side. Having determined the position of the slit, I'm going to fold this into two. I'll fold it into two like this. Now this is our slit allowance. I hope you remember. Having folded it into two, remember this side is the left side, which is here, and then this side is the right side, which is here. So having folded the skirt into two, the next thing I'll do is to notch this point. I'll come here and notch that point. So having done that, the next thing I'm going to do is to remove this allowance now and place it at this side. So we are removing it away from the skirt. For us to remove these 2 inches from the center, what we need to do is we are going to come to this particular side that we have already notched, this side. The reason I'm doing it this side is because our slit will be this side. If your slit is going to be this side, then we are going to fold this one. I hope you understand. So I'll come here now and fold from here. I'm going to fold from here and shift the skirt. So this will now be the center of the skirt. Here will now be the center of the skirt. So if I turn the skirt like this, you have succeeded in removing the allowance. I hope you understand. We have succeeded in removing the allowance that was initially at the center. We have removed it and is now at the side. Do you understand? So from here now to here is our original skirt. This is the allowance we added. Alright? So having removed the allowance, which is supposed to be 4 inches, you know it was 2 on fold. By the time you open it, it's 4 inches. So here it's supposed to be 4 inches. So having removed the allowance from the center, we are now going to create our dart. So I'll place my tape on the center here and measure my bust span, which we are using for the dart. So this is our dart, 4 inches. 4 inches. Okay, so this side will carry the dart, normal dart, while this side will carry our slit. I hope it's clear. So I'll come here and measure my dart length, 5 inches for the front, and draw a straight line. So I'll take it 1/2 inch on both sides, 1/2 inch this side and 1/2 inch this side, and then we'll draw our dart. So let me notch the dart point. I'll come here and notch the dart point here. So we are through with this side. So the next thing to do now is to turn over. I'm going to turn over again. And we are now, instead of creating our dart here, we are going to create our slit. So remember our dart is what? 4 inches, which is here. 4 inches. So having gotten the dart, which is 4 inches, the next thing we are going to do is to return the 4 inches allowance on this side to that particular dart side. So on this line, which is our dart, I'm going to measure 4 inches, which is this 4 inches that we have here for our slit allowance. I'll measure the same 4 inches here and mark. So we are bringing it back from that side to this dart side. So having marked the 4 inches that we have here, I'll take the midpoint of that 4, which is 2 inches. And on this midpoint is where we are going to open. This is where we are going to have our slit. I hope it's clear now. So all I need to do is to fold. This is the midpoint. I'll just place my hand on it, and I'm going to join these 4 inches to this dart line. So what I'll do is to place my hand on that midpoint, carry this 4 inches here, and join to this dart line like this. So with this, we have succeeded in bringing the 4 inches allowance that was initially at this side to the dart line. This side, and this side is now equal. This is the allowance now. I hope it's clear. So what I will do now is to open up this side. I'll just place my scissors like this and open. Do you get? So, and for us to open it straight, I'm going to fold. I would like to fold it like this. So now we have a straight line. So having done that, I'm going to open up this side, which will now be our slit, our side slit. So this is now what we have. So we are going to go over to the machine and stitch with 1/2 inch like this and like this. So after stitching these 2 sides, then we are going to now turn to the right side. So guys, I'm done stitching the 2 sides. The next thing we are going to do is to turn from here. So this is our slit now. So the next thing to do is to place this one on top like this. We're going to remove our slit allowance 1.5 because we have used 1/2 inch to turn this side. So I'm going to close up this side. Then after that, on this side, I'll pick my dart. This is our notch for the dart side. So here I'll pick my dart. So the next thing we are going to do is to shape the skirt. So after shaping the skirt, the last thing I'll do is to open up the slit. So we are going to shape the skirt now. This is the back side and this is the front side. So I'm going to place it right side to right side, and I'll shape with the sewing allowance we added. So we're going to cut out the bag with the waist measurement. So I'm going to measure out 36 plus 4 inches allowance to cut the band. So I'm going to cut out 40 inches. The height of the band is 1.5 plus 1/2 inch sewing allowance, making it 2 inches. So I'm going to measure out 2 inches and cut. So if you want to go ahead and attach your fusible interfacing on the wrong side, if you have any fusible interfacing, you add it. If not, you can fix it like that. So I'll go ahead and fix the band on the waist side. Then after fixing the band, then I'll fix the zip. I'm going to measure 8 inches and fix the zip to that point. So the length of the zip is going to be 8 inches. So guys, our skirt is complete, and as you can see, it's looking so beautiful. So this is the band. I've fixed it already, and this is the zip at the back side. So the last thing for us to do now is to open up the slit. We're going to open up the slit now. So for us to do that, I'll turn to the wrong side. Now to open the slit, we are going to measure out the knee length from waist to the knee, which is 18 inches. And we are going to open the slit there. So this 18 inches, like I said, is 2 inches above the knee, so that it will be easy for us to move. So I'll measure 18 inches and mark. So, but if you want, you can come up a bit. You can measure, you can start the slit at 17 if you want, but moderately 18 is okay. 18 inches. So this is 18 inches here. So what I'll do now is to go and double stitch. I'm going to double stitch on that point to make it strong. So guys, I've stitched on that side here. Before I open the slit, I'm going to use this hemming gum to hold the 2 allowances down. So I'll fold it. This is the hemming gum I'll use. I just folded it into 2, and I'm going to place it here. So this gum is going to help to keep the allowance in place. So the next thing we are going to do is to open up the slit now. So you see, by the time you get to that point, it will be strong. So this is our slit now. So this is our slit now. I'll turn to the right side. To open up your slit will always be the last thing you do on your skirt, so that you get the slit to be straight. If you do it like this, your work will always come out very neat and straight. Do you understand? So this is it. This is the end of this tutorial. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share for other people to watch as well. And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe, turn the notification bell on for more videos. So guys, remember to watch the video on how to make a pencil skirt with back pleat or back vent if you have not done so. So thank you so much for watching. Till next time, I'll see you again. For now, it is bye bye.